sweetgeorgiapam.com is the website that you need to visit if you haven't already. It's all about Pam. You can sign up for a newsletter. You can find out how to have sessions with her. You can have for some free stuff. We'll talk about those in a minute. She's also Sweet Georgia Pam on social media. You can always direct message her as well. All right. Today's dream is from Miley Cyrus. And she said, just random. Hey,
sure.
Miley Cyrus said, why did I dream I gave Lady Gaga a foot massage last night? I think it's because I read that she rubs her feet when she's lonely. So do I. Random.
Oh, Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus. All right, loves, let's go. So here's the first thing about this, is that she immediately qualifies it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know why I had this dream. I think I know what this is about, right? It's because of this.
Right.
And there's more to it than that. There always is. There's always more to it than that. And here's why. In your waking life, you take in sensory input all day and all night. Mm-hmm. Data, ideas, thoughts, things you read, headlines, commercials, all of that. You're taking in so much data, so many ideas. So what makes one idea stick and show up in a dream? That's what we want to ask. That's the question, right? Mm-hmm. It's not, oh, I read this thing and then I dreamt about it. Haha, that is so crazy. That's where people start. And I'm like, also,
there's more to it. Yeah.
Some ideas, So if this were my experience and I had read this headline and then I had this dream, Miley identifies that we both have this in common. So she kind of tells us also, this is why it stuck out to me. So read it to me again. I want to hear her.
Sure. All right. Again, why did I dream I gave Lady Gaga a foot massage last night? ? Mm-hmm. I think it's because I read that she rubs her feet when she's lonely. So do I.
Okay. She rubs her feet when she's lonely. So do I. So then she dreamt that she was the one rubbing Lady Gaga's feet. Mm-hmm. So this is a perfect example of how our dreams bring in characters as stand-ins for versions of ourselves. She's comforting herself, but she's comforting Lady Gaga. So she's reaching out and caring for this fellow celebrity. There's a bright shadow piece here too. So I want to talk about bright shadow in a second, but
I like that term.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. It's a really neat concept. So she dreamt that she was giving Lady Gaga a foot massage. So there's this, oh God. So in the dreamer's mind, she's comforting a version of herself that she admires. This aspect of herself that she has great admiration for, that she has great pride for, and needs some nurturing and needs some companion. She's rubbing the feet of that character in her mind. Okay. So it's bonding for her and Lady Gaga, or for her and this bright shadow projection of herself. It's okay. Oh God. When you read something like that somebody, I am making an assumption right now that Miley Cyrus admires Lady Gaga. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to assume that is accurate, because in my head, that's what's happening. Okay. So when you read that somebody that you admire shares in a really quirky thing about yourself, like this really odd, this is kind of what makes Miley. She rubs her feet when she's lonely. Like that's kind of a little thing to, it's a quirky part of her personality, right? Mm-hmm. So when a person that you admire shares in something personal like that, suddenly you grow a little closer to that person, or you relax into being more of yourself because this person you admire also does that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she accepted a part of herself on a different level,
Okay.
and then dreamt that she was having this, I don't want to say intimate experience, because I'm not talking about intimacy, but I'm talking about this bonding
Well, it is
experience.
intimate, but the sad thing
Yes.
is, I think as a society, we associate intimacy with
Right.
sexuality, and there's
Yes.
intimacy that has nothing to do with sexuality.
Yes.
That
Right.
I think we all
So
thirst for, but we never talk about.
human touch is
Hmm.
intimate and bonding.
Yeah.
It's an intimate act. Okay. So that's one part of it. Is Miley was kind of given permission to indulge in that act of admiration and self-nurturing.
Hmm.
Okay. Right.
Well, especially if you again, Miley, we're interpreting this for you and pretending that we're you, but especially if you're self-conscious about it, embarrassed to tell other people
What?
about it,
Right.
right? So she, like you
Right.
said, she's allowed now because, oh, okay, wait, somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the rubbing of the feet is well, first of all, it's a reflexology. It's a self-soothing technique. And it's also a calming the nervous system, right? Process.
I tend to do it. I never thought about rubbing my feet. I tend to do it before I go to sleep.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'll lay down and I'll start watching TV and I'll start rubbing my feet and not,
Yeah. I
so it's
don't ever
interesting.
touch my feet. I will now,
Maybe
I
this
guess.
podcast is giving you permission to be able to be intimate with yourself and your feet. I'm sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
going to be like have a dream now of rubbing Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus's feet. It's an act of admiration, though. So let's talk for a second about bright shadow.
Okay, yes.
So I didn't understand bright shadow until my dad died, right? So he was this character in my life who was very proud of me and was always loving towards me and whispering like words of encouragement. And he just believed in me more than I believed in myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he died 7 years ago. It was horrific and tragic, and we went through a lot. But suddenly there wasn't a character in my life who was telling me those things about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew they were true, because if he believed them, they must be true about me. But nobody was there to hold my projection so that I could be self-deprecating, so that I could be like, oh, stop, like, no, you're not. Oh, that's sweet, but you're my dad. You have to believe that about me. And once he was gone physically from the physical space, I got it. It made sense to me, where I went, oh, I have to be my own. Oh, I have to believe those things I do believe those things, but I've been acting because he was the holding place. I could just not live into that part of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was gone, and suddenly I'm like, oh, it's me now. I have to rely on me to do those things. And it was easy because he had been this amazing role model for me. So he was my bright shadow. He was this character.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I lost my mom a few years ago, and same thing. Like, especially, she was an important part of my self-esteem. Probably the only person in my world who, even though I've lived a public life, she was the one that I, believed, and she was always encouraging, and she was always forgiving.
Yeah.
And especially now as a parent, it's like, man, I sure miss, because there's days I'm like, I don't know if I'm good at this, and I miss her. I miss her doing the same thing your dad did for you, which is, you're doing great.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
She would de-stress me in a moment.
Yeah. So you had to internalize what you were projecting onto her, which is, well, you believe I'm good. Maybe it's true.
Right.
And
then you don't have another choice too. It's like, it's also, it's maybe it's true. And then there's a part of me, it's like, I want it to be true. I got to make it true. Right.
Yes.
Because like you said, I don't have that.
Yes.
I don't have that anymore to be able to do that with. And so bright shadow, I love that term.
Yes. Yes. So I bring that up in this particular episode just because I think that in my assumption, in the story I was telling myself, is that Miley Cyrus sees Lady Gaga as a bright shadow, maybe as a maybe she doesn't, I don't know, but as something that someone that she admires and would like to live up to, right? My dad is someone I admire and would love to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to integrate all those things that he has or had that I want for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So he is my bright shadow. So if I were the dreamer and I read something about my bright shadow that is a quirk that I also have, that moves me closer to owning my own brightness.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And I think it's important for people to remember that, you know, I love how you said earlier about if there's certain characters that show up in your dream, that they're stand-ins for yourself.
Mhm.
So that a lot of times you're in your dream, it's almost like you're, you know, what, Multiplicity? What was that movie with that guy? Anyway, I can't think of his name.
Michael
Keaton.
Keaton.
Yes.
We did a
We
thing.
did it.
got
We did a thing. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible with names. But anyway, but with Michael Keaton, you know, it's a dream could be you split and you're having to integrate all that. I love that. If you want to work with Sweet Georgia Pam, she can be there to help you through the process of your dreams, whether you're going through something traumatic, because we mentioned, you know, things that were, you know, not so fun in our lives, or, you know, it's just, hey, out of curiosity, I'd love to learn more about this stuff. SweetGeorgiaPam.com. Yes, go ahead.
I just want to also offer that if Lady Gaga or Miley Cyrus thinks we got it wrong, or if they want to like chime in, if there's something that they want to add to this, I would love to hear their comments on it. So you guys feel free to reach out to.
Absolutely.
We'll
Yes.
respond.
Absolutely. Well, and also anybody is welcome to be part of the show. Like we will
Yes.
tape with you and have Pam unpack your dream with you. So
Mhm.
yes, as this podcast goes along, it won't just be two people on it. We want more people on it. So sweetgeorgiapam.com is where you can find out all about Pam. If you're like, oh, I can't remember my dreams. Why are y'all talking about this? 6 nights to a better or 2 better dream recall. 6 nights to better dream recall. Pam is there to help you. It's a free downloadable guide. Just go to sweetgeorgiapam.com. Also, if you ever post your dream, why not add Sweet Georgia Pam in your description, and that way you tag her so that she can see these dreams. Sweet Georgia Pam on social media. All right, and we're on YouTube too. Leave your dream in the comments. We might use it in a future show. I think that's all. Pam, my friend, thank you so much as always.
Sweet dreams, everybody.